Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group. I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday, and it is another episode of Tactical Tuesday. And I'm going to be talking about something that I get hit up quite often about, and we're going to talk about schedulers, about literally scheduling your post, whether that is on Facebook, whether that's on Instagram, if that's on your Google Map post. I want to give you the ins and outs of that, how that works, the advantages and the disadvantages of doing it that way. And also going to talk a little bit about the native scheduling inside of the platforms. We're starting to get to the point to where they've even got scheduling features inside of groups in Facebook. So hopefully they start making it a little bit easier and a little bit more user-friendly to schedule on Facebook, because it would literally change the game. And what I mean by that, we've got all kinds of different software out there that is designed to hook into your social media. One of the ones out there that's probably the most broad and likely has some of the most features, probably some of the hardest learning curves, is software called Hootsuite. One of the cool things about Hootsuite is not only can you schedule on your social media platforms, but you can also comment and you can also see the feed actually come through one central dashboard, meaning that if you are managing multiple social media pages, if you've really got something where you're managing different companies, this is one of the ones that a lot of agencies will use. You've actually got the ability to create feeds where you can even respond to comments on pages that you manage. That being said, you can also post in groups. You cannot post on your personal feed. As far as I know, they have not. They actually removed that feature. It used to be that you were able to post on your personal feed as well. However, you can actually hook into groups and you can hook into pages. Now, one of the disadvantages about using a social media scheduler, and I'm going to talk about a couple more here throughout the podcast, but one of the disadvantages about using a social media scheduler is that they know if you're not using their native platform. So Facebook, Instagram, pretty much Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, they know that you're not using their native platform, meaning that you do not get the algorithm boost that you would if you posted natively on the platform. Now, that being said, if you've got tons of social media accounts, your best bet is to use some sort of software anyway. We haven't seen a massive decline, but the way it's set up inside of Facebook pages specifically is that they really don't have the highest algorithm anyway. So a lot of times you're posting on Facebook pages to kind of set the market positioning for when people are looking for your service, they're going in there to check you out. So it really just depends depends on your strategy, what you're trying to do. Are you trying to post for the market positioning? Because literally a lot of people think that they're going to continuously be able to post on their page and get some sort of exposure. And although that may be true in some circumstances, there's only a couple circumstances that I can think of. There's still some strong pages. And I actually have one. It's Dent Trainer's Facebook page. And then one of my business partners has a Facebook page for his service-based business. He's just literally stayed on top of the entire time, like ever since the pages were launched inside, the business pages were launched inside of Facebook. He's been creating compelling content from day one. So most of us at one point got lost in the weeds and forgot about a Facebook page for months, if not years. And if that's happened to you, then your interaction and your algorithm and all that stuff just literally just drops like a rock. So there's also another one called OneUp app. And there's a bunch of them. You guys could check and do all kinds of them. There's also one called Meet Edgar. And one of the things I like about Meet Edgar is that it will like auto post on its own. So you can build up a library worth of content and it will try to optimize your post to drop them at certain times during the day where they see more engagement. Personally, I really haven't seen it work that well in that arena. In fact, I believe most of the technology, the AI, artificial intelligence technology inside of figuring out the times when you post or the times when you email have been wildly inaccurate for me. In fact, I tried it several times inside of MailChimp. I compared their AI when they told me that I should post the optimum time with the posts that I was doing and at the times that I knew worked really well. And every time their suggested schedule or their suggested post time failed miserably. Miserably. Now, that being said, you can also use your email platform to post on Facebook as well. So, some of the platforms like MailChimp picked that feature up. So, even if you do an email, you can actually share it on your Facebook page. Okay. So, that being said, I wouldn't rely super heavy on them for higher algorithm places like groups, where like I've told many of you guys, I think last week's Tactical Tuesday was specifically about groups and how important it is to have a group and how important it is to stay active in that group, how important it is to create the consistency needed to have an active group. And we talked about that last week. And that's one of the things that I probably would not use a scheduler because simply you're not going to get that algorithm bump that you want inside of a group. And they do have a way now that you can schedule post, which I like that simply because I know the optimal times to post things. And sometimes I'll break the rules and I'll post them in the middle of the day or whenever I got time because I'm afraid that I'm going to forget later. So now that they've set up the ability to schedule post natively inside of Facebook in groups, that gives me the ability to write out a post and actually just set it for the most optimal time and post it then. One of the other things that you guys got to keep in mind is that people will begin expecting your post at certain times. So it's best to find what that time is that your current audience really responds to your post. Now, whether that's on your personal Facebook wall or whether that's inside of a group or whether that's on your Facebook page, and stick to them times regularly, and you will find that your engagement will continue to rise and continue to go up. So that being said, again, I think the schedulers are good for some stuff, and I'm gonna make a quick note here where I think the scheduler works really well, and this is going to be a huge a tactical tip for you guys out there who actually have Google Map locations. Google actually has the ability now to write like something similar to a Facebook post and to post it inside of their app, which is I think it's called Places. I'm pretty sure it's called Places, but it's Google's map. I'm sorry, Google's it's where you can actually get in there and edit your Google Map location, and they have the ability to post directly from your phone. The only one that I found that can post directly to the Google Maps is called OneUp app, and you can literally set up a rotation of 30 days worth of post, and you can write a description that has some key words in it, meaning that you want to understand what keywords that you want to pull up your listing on the maps, and you want to set up a 30-day rotation where it will continuously repeat. And at that point, you can set it up and you can just forget about it, and it'll post on your Google Maps every day. So that's a super tactical trick for you guys, because literally Google Maps will pull from these posts. Like you'll see your Google map at the top of a search, and the reason why they'll show you like down there at the bottom in little tiny mouse type. If you look close, it'll show you where they're correlating the search term with your Google map listing. And there's so many times I've seen at the bottom, especially 2 or 3 months doing this, you'll start to see them pulling the search terminology from your Google post. So anyhow, appreciate each and every one of you for coming along on this Tactical Tuesday podcast. I hope I've given you some things to think about. And other than that, I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you on that next one.